I'm a Delaware native, Kent County native. I was born a few years ago, Milford Hospital. Spent my entire childhood in Felton, graduated from Lake Forest High School, and since then I have lived Harrington, Camden, Felton, Magnolia. I keep circling. I've spent the last 8.5 years in the town of Magnolia, and I am a mother, a grandmother, and the human to my German Shepherd dog Gunter, who is a little more famous actually than I am. My funny story is Senator Lawson called me the other day and said hello, and then went, "How's Gunter?" I am a Delaware certified paralegal, have been for 25 years. I have a degree, 2 degrees from Wilmington University. I started a family early, so I left college. Decided to go back at age 30. I got a bachelor's in business management. Got bored at age 40, went back and got a bachelor's in accounting. I have ran the law office where I work for the last 20 years. April 1st was my 20th anniversary there. I originally started working for the Department of Justice. I was their Kent County intake paralegal, which translates into I interviewed every cop in Kent County for every felony arrest. My prosecutor went out on his own and took me with him, and that's who I've worked for the last 20 years. My connection with law enforcement led me to another area where I have started my nonprofit back in 2015 called A Walk in Their Shoes. In 2020, decided to legitimize it, became a Delaware nonprofit corporation. At the end of that year, became a 501c3. We work to raise money to help our law enforcement community and unite the community and law enforcement. I firmly believe a lot of the issues that the community has with law enforcement is basically misunderstandings. I was looking at what Seth put on my little card. One of the things he mentions is community organizer. I hosted a rally or a fundraiser a few years ago after the law enforcement memorial was damaged. We were able to present a check to the Police Chiefs Council for $6,500 to help with that. Last year we had an oyster chicken and dumpling dinner. I believe a few of you were there. We paired with the FOP, Lodge 3, helped them with their largest fundraising event yet. We raised over $15,000. A portion went to the FOP, a portion went to my nonprofit. Because of that, I was able to present a check to Harrington PD to help with their Shop with a Cop. And last week gave a check to Chief Baker of the Wyoming PD to help with their fishing derby and their national night out. Again, experience-wise, I am a paralegal. I do work mostly in the criminal, but we have handled some wills. I'm a notary, have been for about 35 years. I've been working ever since I was 15. I'm also a bookkeeper for an electrical company, a bookkeeper for a contractor. Became involved in this in about 2021, asked one of my council people in Magnolia what I would need to do if I made the decision to be on town council. Someone left me a note in the door and said, come to the meeting in September. I came back in October, and I've been the lone councilwoman since 2021. Back in 2022, my dear friend Norman Barlow gave me a call and said, I'm running for sheriff, will you help me? I've known him for 25 years from my law enforcement connection. He said, would you possibly consider running for recorder of deeds? So I reached out to Eugenia. I was actually in North Carolina when she called. I believe it was Easter, and we discussed it. We decided there was no way we would primary. That was just silly. And one of us would run, one of us wouldn't. We decided that the Register of Wills was a little more my wheelhouse. Recorder of Deeds was hers. She ran, successfully beat DJ Cox, oddly enough, who is my opponent in this race. Yeah. So I made the decision because I have a tendency to like to be prepared, so it gave me time to get a little more of my background, a little more of everything organized so that I could run for the Register of Wills. I do have the support of the Democratic incumbent, wonderful man I've known for a long time, retired State Trooper Harold Brode. I do want to do a lot. I'm looking forward to doing a lot of community stuff with the county. I think so many of our constituents really have no idea what the county does. One of the questions I get all the time is, what is the Register of Wills? And if they don't ask me that, they confuse me with the Recorder of Deeds. I think we need to do a lot of community outreach so that the county knows what our row officers do. Just in general for Register of Wills, I think there needs to be more outreach for that. Informational packets, how-tos, so many. there's no polite way to put it, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna have a family member that does. So we're going to have some contact one way or the other with the register of wills, whether we know it or not. And I think if we have an understanding of what's needed, it's going to be so much more successful for your family members or for you if you're operating for a family member, because I've been involved with that. It becomes so messy and so ugly sometimes with families. And if you can at least get as much eliminated as possible. Someone reached out to me the other day and asked me if we would be able to put forms online. It's 2024, there should be some forms online somewhere. I work in the court system, even our Superior Court case paperwork is online. Uniformity between the counties. I spoke with someone the other day, and I've worked in state government for 25 years, and in the court system, no county is ever the same. It's the same law in every county, but there's always something to, and it's never made any sense to me. So part of it, I like uniformity just because it makes sense. I just want that office to have the education and the abilities and everything they need for it to run as effectively and smoothly as possible, just like I run the office that I run now. But I have my purple signs out. If anybody wants a sign, they're welcome. I usually carry them with me in my car, a handful of them in my car. I do have push cards, and if anyone's feeling real generous, my business cards have the mailing address on the back for campaign donations. I've tried to be just anywhere I can pop up.